And yes, I've got some breaking news this morning too. I just want to let you all know that my days presenting RM Breakfast are coming to an end. After 17 years, it's time. This has been, as you can hear, I think, an extremely difficult decision to make. I absolutely love this job. I am so passionate about what we do here on Breakfast for you and with you every morning. I've given it my heart and soul, I really have, and I really will keep doing it. I love it, but breakfast hours are a hard taskmaster. So I'm going to step aside from this role later in December. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to catch some sleep. You'll see me next year around the ABC in the lead up to the election. There will be a chance in the weeks ahead for me to publicly thank the incredible RN Breakfast team for all their hard work and commitment over the years. But for now, I just want to give you my news and thank you for the support you've given me. It's been an absolute privilege. I can't believe I've actually got these words out. In fact, I've been dreading saying it out loud and making it real. RM Breakfast has been such a huge part of my life. I'll miss it and I'll miss you. As I say, it's been a privilege and an absolute joy. So for now, until December, let's keep doing what we do here together for a little while longer.
Oh, Fran joins us now. Fran, sorry to do that to you, but you've left a lot of people upset this morning with the news that you're leaving.
Joe, I'm upset at the news I'm leaving.
Yeah. How tough was that this morning?
That was very tough. You know, this has been a decision not easily come to, and I've toed and froed on it a bit, but in the end what I said there is true. Breakfast radio, breakfast TV, which I know you've done, it is a hard taskmaster. I've been doing it for 17 years, which is probably longer than it was invented for, I think. So I've made the decision for those reasons, but not because I don't love that job. Everything about that job I love, and so that was hard, and it was very hard to do it on air and keep it together. So I was very lucky that I could fall back into my rhythm, and now the weather and I could just click back in. But yeah, and when Lee Sales rang during the show, that nearly completely undid me. So but I've had a wonderful response from the audience in particular, so
and from across the political
and across, that's true, and across from the political spectrum.
And this feels kind of weird because these are the kind of questions that you'd been asking a politician when they decide
go for it, Joe.
Why, all that kind of stuff. But when you started the show back in 2005, I think it was, you were coming off, you'd been a European.
I came back from London to do this job. Yeah.
What attracted you to radio?
Well, radio was where I was born, so to speak. You know, when I started journalism, I started in current affairs radio on Triple J, and then moved into current affairs radio and then when I got to Parliament, way back, it just turns out that was my happy place. That politics was really where I knew I was meant to be. So I spent most of my career doing radio. And so when I was given, I'd worked on RN Breakfast as a political commentator from Parliament House before I went to London, or before I went to the 7:30 report. So when I was given this chance, I'd always thought it was the best job in journalism, and I just couldn't believe my luck.
And when you start just looking at these pics there in the early hours in the dark room, what were you hoping to achieve when you took this on back in 2005?
Well, you know, we gathered a team together. I was still in London when we had the sort of a powwow of why I would come back and what we were trying to do. And my mission statement at the time was, this is a place, this is a show like no other, with the space and the time to do really something other shows don't get to do. So this is our chance to really inform the audience and take the space to work out amongst ourselves what it is the audience, the nation wants to know, needs to know, and then bring those people who'll be making those decisions to the table to give their account and to hold them to account. That was our mission. And I said, what we want to be is the place where the decision makers in this country come, and they are come to be held to account. And we get to sit them in front of us and go, okay, tell us this. And I think we've done that. We've done that in politics. We've done that in business. We've done that in, we've had judges and royal commissioners, and, that's one part of the job. The other part of the job is to just bring the best and the brightest of the world and Australia to to the audience, and
to come and have a chat to Fran.
To Fran.
And you've said you put your heart and soul into this, and that's very apparent from the questions that you ask people who sit in the chair. Your knowledge is so broad. How did you handle that, or did you feel that weight of responsibility to be across such a broad range of subjects and in such detail that you are able to effectively hold people to account?
Well, I'm lucky. I've always been backed by a fabulous team on Breakfast. We're a small team, but it's a team where it's been a really committed project. So, I'm not just doing this off the top of my head. I have journalists and producers who are chasing down the best talent in the world. Our international editor has been on the team just a few years shy of me, and she has never lost that hunger, and she literally chases the world through the night to get us the best talent. So I am lucky to have that team of people, that commitment. Our political editor, Alison Carabine, who just, really basically doesn't sleep to make sure that we are ahead of the political story every morning. So I am buoyed and backed by a great team, but also it is a weight, Joe. I do feel that weight. I feel, because I'm so committed, because I love what I'm doing, I never want to give it 60%. Yeah. I always want to give it 100%. So, not to sort of, play the violin or anything, but I do feel the weight. I can't go to bed at night till I feel I'm ready for the morning, because that's not fair. So it is, it's a split shift. It's a load. It's a joy and it's a load. But it's also, I've been lucky to be able to craft it in my own image a bit. Yep. So, I get to talk to my favourite musicians. I get to talk about
the Matildas.
Well, I get to talk about the Matildas and about the Opals, my favourite basketball team. So there is a lot of fun in that as well, and that's great.
And so this is a kind of hard question, but what were some of those key moments through that, because it's been such a long period, 17 years, in terms of holding people to account, but also just moments that you remember for the joy of the moment or the power of the moment?
Well, I have been up since 3:30, so it is hard to bring things to bear. I don't think I can name the moments, but the most powerful moments are when we're not talking to the politicians or the lawyers or the banking chiefs or whoever, but we're talking to the people here and overseas who are affected by either events of the world that we're reporting on, or the political and other decisions, the policy decisions being made. It's the people's responses and the impacts of them. And the most recent example of that is speaking to a woman called Marwa, a young woman, when she was holed up in her flat in Afghanistan, in Kabul, with something like 12 other young women, terrified for their lives as the Taliban moved in, desperate to get out of the country. They had Australians helping them do that. They were stuck. The raw emotion of that interview, the audience just responded, and we checked in with Marwa 2 weeks later, and she had been able to get out of Afghanistan, but she was in Islamabad. And then now we can report she's in Sydney, and we look forward, hopefully, in coming days to talk to Marwa in Sydney. So that's where the power is, and that's where the emotion of radio is, I think, and the power of radio on those stories.
And political journos can get sledged pretty mercilessly, and that has probably or have you noticed that has intensified in recent years, and how have you handled that?
Like everyone, I've noticed it. It's a real change in the tone of the feedback. I kind of, feel good in the morning if I've got an equal number of sledging of people calling me a Liberal stooge to calling me a Labor stooge, and kind of that's the way I work my way through it. I just try to put a ring around what I do and just let the commentary play out. I'm not terribly engaged in Twitter for that reason. I can't see the point. No good has come of it when I have. Yeah. So I've left that. Unlike a lot of my colleagues who I appreciate that they're fighting the good fight, but for me, with the load I'm doing every morning, it's just a distraction. So I just try and keep the same kind of guiding light, which is, what does the audience want to know? It's my job to ask it.
When you've got to be across such a broad range of information, I'm guessing you're pretty focused just on keeping it.
But, then I heard just a few years ago that, someone in the coalition has dubbed, quite high up, has dubbed me Fran Climate Change Kelly. And there's things like that, and you go, oh, well, I'm proud of that. When I came to this program, I decided that one of the big issues for Australia and the world coming up, well, I didn't decide it, it was obvious, was going to be climate change. And our mission in Breakfast, we decided early on, was to go to the voices and the thinkers in the world across the field and bring the latest research, to Australia, and we started back then. This is before Nicola Stern, this is before Al Gore, and we just kind of kept trying to keep across that debate.
And to be informed by the facts.
To be informed by the facts. I mean, that's our mantra on breakfast. Facts, not fear.
And why so passionate about the ABC? Why you're going to stick around for a while? Why you've been here for so long?
Well, Joe, you know what it's like. It is like a family. It is my identity, like I'm sure it is yours to some degree. Well, I won't speak for you, but for me, I've always been I was late coming into journalism, so I was late coming to the ABC, but I'm so proud. I've always been, now I'm going to cry, I've always been so proud to be a part of the ABC, and I've been given wonderful opportunities, which I've tried to seize with both hands. I feel a part of the family. I love it that I love the ABC audience and the love and the warmth you get back when you go around the place. And where else would I have been? I don't feel there's anywhere else I could have done the journalism that I got to do. So I'm appreciative of that.
And we've been so proud of you too. And we will continue to see you around.
You will? Yeah, we will. It's still a work in progress, but there is an election looming, and, you know, no show without punch, really, when it comes to elections. I've been on deck for elections since 1993, so I'm not going to stop now. We're still working out the shape and form of that, but it won't be on Radio National Breakfast, but it will be across the ABC, so...
Okay, Fran, I've got so much, as a fellow journo, just so much respect for you as a person to listen to each morning, to get across the latest and just learn from the way that you chat to the people you chat to. So thanks for all you've done for the ABC and, for journalism in general.
Joe, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure and a thrill. Thank you.
Cheers.